And Lewis, welcome back to Chile, gentlemen. Thank you so much for stopping by. Here we are, another Howling Mood podcast. This time we're talking about our stories, of course. This time around, we're talking about a couple stories in general. The first story we're going to talk about, both these diamonds in the rough, like I said, things off the top of my head. We're going to be talking about, the first story we're talking about is a story called The Evil Within. It centers around Bruce Carey, a.k.a. James Borden. Uh, he basically kills his entire family. It leads up until the events that leads up until we find this out is towards the end of the story. But anyway, uh, he basically lives in this other neighborhood. He's kind of to himself and just kind of snaps and gets tired of the residents in the area, and all of a sudden he starts picking them off one by one, or tries to anyway. We'll say that. But the story has some really unique, gruesome, brutal killings in it. It's a really good story, if I do say so. I went back and reread it after I wrote it, and it's really a good story. It really uh, has a real good meaning to it, a real good, like backing to it. So it's really enjoyable. Also, it's one of those, like I said, those diamonds in the rough. Like I said, stories can only be like 2, 3 pages long, and just be, and still be a great story. And that's exactly what we have here. Now, the second story I'm talking about is a story called Five Floors of Terror. The Five Floors of Terror is a story that deals with a guy. Of course, we're dealing, we talk about dealing with a guy, and he gets he gets in a situation where he also is a one of those guys that snaps uh, just at the drop of, basically what goes on is he has a so there's Carl Maddox is what we're Five Floors of Terror. We're in a hotel. Carl Maddox is a prisoner who basically was freed because the lack of evidence, and he works in the kitchen at the hotel, and he basically just starts snapping because he's got all this stuff that all these orders that come in, all the nagging from the other cooks and his manager and whatnot, and the stuff just gets very overwhelming for him, and he just completely explodes. Uh, and runs amok and goes on a killing spree, if you will, throughout the 5 floors of this hotel, which is called the Rogue Hotel. I gotta say that it has one of the most unique killings ever in a horror movie. I don't think I've ever actually seen in all my watchings of horror films. I don't think I have ever actually seen the actual killing that is in this story. I don't think I've ever seen any of them or any horror movie that had this killing in it. Very, very, very unique. Very brutal, I guess you could say. Very brutal. It's just absolutely uh, crazy. Just it gets really, really intense, and has a very climactic ending to it, if you will. A very good ending. But yeah, these two stories are available. I will leave the link to the description of the stories that are available uh, in the description below. So you all can take a look at these, plus my other stories that are available here as well. It's going to be a short podcast, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just kind of explaining these two stories, if you will. Kind of talking about them, what they're about. And like I said, you need to read them. They're really good. I really enjoy writing stories. I don't write them as much often as I usually do now because I just get the lack of motivation to do so. Have the ideas, just don't have the motivation. That's why I always say I would love to clone myself one day or soon to just have for somebody or have that other me come in and do some of the things I don't get an opportunity to do so, which is like write stories or do a lot of other different things that I would love to do. and I can't do it because I just don't have the time or the motivation most of the time. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching. This has been another Howling Mood podcast. This has been Wolfman Lewis. Ow! Ah.